Mercedes-Benz HU6 IC177 M mileage correction with APPRO2, 2018 to 2023. Full guide. Hey everyone, welcome back to Baabji Motors, your trusted hub for everything related to automobile diagnostics and programming. Before we jump into today's deep dive, here's a quick but important note. This video is created purely for educational and informational purposes. Everything you hear in this walkthrough, including steps, demonstrations, and technical explanations, is designed to help vehicle technicians, enthusiasts, and learners better understand automotive diagnostics. We respect fair use guidelines, and any references to brands, images, or tools are solely for teaching and review purposes. No copyrighted content is used for commercial gain, and all trademarks belong to their rightful owners. Always remember, when you're working on a vehicle, follow manufacturer guidelines and your local regulations to stay compliant and safe. Now here's a little challenge for you before we get started. Did you know that Mercedes-Benz uses different processor versions in the HU6 IC177 M instrument clusters, and choosing the wrong wiring connection can completely stop your calibration? Do you know which version needs to be verified first before starting the mileage correction? Drop your guess in the comments. I'll reveal the answer at the end of this video. Also, most of you enjoy these videos, but forget to subscribe. Supporting the channel only takes 1 second, but helps us bring you more detailed automotive content every week. So let's aim high. 10,000 likes and 1,000 comments in the first 24 hours. Smash that like button, share your thoughts below, and if you really appreciate this level of detail, consider hitting super thanks. It truly keeps Baabji Motors alive. Alright, let's get into the step-by-step guide on correcting mileage for Mercedes-Benz HU6 IC177 M instrument clusters from 2018 onwards using the APPRO2 key programmer. When working on mileage correction for these clusters, preparation is key. The APPRO2 device is powerful, but to make it work correctly, you'll need a proper setup. Begin by ensuring you have the APPRO2 device with the latest updated software installed on your laptop. Updates matter because each revision of the software often includes bug fixes, improved stability, and support for new cluster types. Alongside the device, gather your soldering tools. A fine-tip soldering iron is recommended because the pins on the ICs you'll be working with are extremely small and require accuracy. To make things even clearer, a microscope can be a game changer. This isn't optional. It really helps you check solder points and ensure you don't short nearby pins. Equally important is power stability. A regulated 12V power supply ensures that during the data reading and writing process, your device doesn't cut off in the middle of an operation. A sudden power drop could corrupt the cluster's firmware. Along with this, always protect your workbench with an anti-static mat and wear an ESD wrist strap. Many technicians underestimate static discharge, but one tiny spark can permanently damage a microprocessor you're working on. With preparation complete, let's move to software setup. Launch the APPRO2 software on your computer and navigate through the menu tree. Car models, Mercedes-Benz, Benz mileage tool. From here, select HU6 IC177, 2018 to 2023, without can filter, which is identified as option 0092 in the software list. Once selected, confirm your choice by clicking OK. You'll then be prompted to choose a processor type. In this case, the target processor is Weld, our 7F7014XX. Selecting the correct processor ensures that the APPRO2 communicates accurately with the IC. Next comes the most critical step, hardware connection. This is where you must be very careful. 2 distinct versions of the HU6 cluster exist, and the one inside the vehicle you're working on determines your wiring approach. These are known as the basic version, our 7F70140-3 HU6 B, and the high version, our 7F70140-3 HU6 A. It is vital to confirm which one you're working on before proceeding, because wiring them incorrectly can prevent communication altogether or even damage the IC. Wiring diagrams provided by APPRO2 must be followed to the letter. For soldering, use 30 AWG enameled wire. The thin diameter allows you to connect to small pads without applying excessive heat. Before you even think of powering on, double-check your pin alignment. A single misplaced wire could short circuits and ruin your progress. Once connected, secure everything with Kapton tape to hold wires firmly in place, preventing accidental movement during the reading and writing process. Now we move into data extraction and mileage calculation. The first step inside the software is clicking Pretreatment CPU, Mode 1. This initializes the processor for communication. At this point, the system may request you to enter a crack value. These values differ depending on the cluster and software revision. Enter the value carefully to proceed. After that, always back up the original configuration data before making any changes. This backup acts as your safety net. If anything goes wrong during calibration, you can restore the cluster to its original state. Once your backup is secure, the next task is calculating the new service data online. Load your saved configuration file, input the new mileage you want to set, and then let the APPRO2 software calculate the updated values. After the calculation, save the new file generated by the system. The next stage is writing this data back to the cluster. Select Write Service Data in the software and load your newly created file. During this process, patience is key. Do not interrupt power or disconnect wires. The software will show you a progress bar, and once it completes successfully, you'll know the writing process is finished. After successful writing, it's time for finalization. Power off the cluster completely. Carefully disconnect all the wires and reassemble the instrument cluster into its housing. Reconnect it to the ignition system in the car and power up. If everything has been done correctly, you'll now see the updated mileage displayed on the dashboard, confirming that the calibration using APPRO2 has been successful. But sometimes things don't go smoothly, and that's where troubleshooting comes in. If the writing fails, the most common cause is poor soldering connections. Go back, recheck each connection under the microscope, and ensure your solder joints are clean and precise. Another common issue is unstable power supply. If your 12V feed dips or spikes, the device may fail to complete writing. Also, ensure you're using the latest version of APPRO2 software because older versions may lack necessary support. In cases where the mileage doesn't update even after writing, repeat the pre-treatment process. Sometimes entering an alternative crack value resolves the issue. These values can vary, and trial and error is occasionally necessary. Always keep patience in these moments. It's part of the process. So there you have it, a full professional walkthrough of performing mileage correction on Mercedes-Benz HU6 IC177 M clusters from 2018 to 2023 using the APPRO2 programmer. Following these steps ensures accuracy, safety, and a high success rate. Now let's circle back to the question I asked at the beginning. I asked, which version must you always verify before starting the process? The answer is, you must identify whether the cluster is the basic version, R7F70140 HU6 B, or the high version, R7F70140 HU6 A, before wiring, because using the wrong diagram can ruin communication. Personally, I think this step is the most overlooked, yet it's the most important safeguard to prevent mistakes. What do you think? Have you ever encountered situations where identifying the version saved you from an error? Share your experience in the comments below. Here's a quick tip before we wrap up. When doing mileage correction or ECU programming, always label your wires during soldering. It sounds simple, but many professionals skip this step, and it causes confusion later. Labeled wires save time when reconnecting and reduce the risk of miswiring. So let's hit our goal of 10,000 likes and 1,000 comments in the first 24 hours. If this video gave you value, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Baabji Motors. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, hit the super thanks button. It directly supports the channel and keeps us bringing you this type of detailed content. Thanks for watching till the end. And as always, happy diagnosing.